Immunity.
The battleground is going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen. We saw this in the first match between Tempo Storm and Murloc Geniuses. There was a lot of emphasis on having control of the rotations between the objectives, making sure that you can catch the turret. So if we see a high priority on that Zagara, keep that in mind.
Kael'thas being banned out immediately here from Cloud9, and because Kael'thas with that level 13 talent, Chain Bomb can just win a lot of team fights, you kind of want to just kind of take that away if you don't plan on playing him, and Cloud9 going straight for it. And then the standard Zeratul being banned out here for Immunity. Cloud9 can play Zeratul very, very well, and you're seeing everything taken away.
This is smart because Cloud9, if they don't ban Zeratul, they're going to pick them, but by forcing the Zeratul ban, they're going to probably go for Uther. We know Dunk Train is so comfortable on that hero. They've been prioritizing him a lot, but no, Cloud9 is actually going to opt to pick Leoric very early in this draft.
Leoric can be very good on this map in particular just because he can clear very well, he can rotate pretty nicely, and of course, he can hold those coins if you need be, or gems.
So here's an interesting thing. Maybe Cloud9 hasn't done their research. If you look at Immunity's games throughout their qualifier event, 90% of them, they picked Uther. And of course, they won the event, so they've had great success with it. And there is the Uther pick. Maybe it's going to be a bit of a misstep. Who knows how this matchup is going to go, but if there's one thing to look at, it is going to be that Uther play.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Cloud9 and a lot of teams actually have been speaking about how Uther is one of the first picks for this entire weekend. So Uther into it, Jaina, getting that nice damage down. If you can potentially get a stun on anyone important, of course you have that burst available. And also, it also prevents the triple melee for the most part because Jaina can slow them down and really prevent them from doing what they want to do with that composition.
And we're starting to see Jaina players get more comfortable with Icy Vein styles, where it's very just burst heavy. You throw a Divine Shield on a Jaina that pops Icy Veins, and she just does so much burst damage. You got to look out for. But Cloud9 now gets 2 more picks before the next ban phase, and they're going for the double Bruiser composition, Leoric and Arthas.
Yeah, also the potential for that Abathur pick as well. Something that Cloud9 has really been starting to make their own. The most recent tournament that they were able to take a win off of Tempo Storm, they had that. And also Tyrande play is another thing that is sort of a trademark for their team.
Jake, what are you thinking? Tyrande, one of your favorite heroes to play.
I love Tyrande so much, and Kubi was just talking about how sometimes you got to look out for one of those heroes missing in the battleground. You throw a Sentinel out to find them, scout them, find the location on that hero if they're trying to get maybe the Bruisers, maybe the boss. She's got such a good kit. She's like a half support. She will not be the main primary support in this composition. Hunter's Mark, very strong for blowing up an enemy hero, 25% amplified damage to that target.
Yeah, Tyrande just being around as well makes Uther play a little bit more passive. Usually you have Uther because he is a little bit on the robust side, can be in the front line with the melee warrior. If you burst down Uther pretty quickly, although he does that healing kit whenever he's in his trait state, you are able to get rid of Uther and then engage on the major team from Immunity. And using that Hunter's Mark, you can actually take down people very quickly before those heals do pop out. So interesting pick here from Cloud9. Immunity, how do they respond?
Okay, so we see the ban phase just before we finish out the rosters for either side. It's going to be Vala taken out for Immunity and Johanna on Cloud9's side.
Warrior Lockout, super smart. They have Arthas, Leoric, they know what they want, and they deny Johanna. So now Immunity, they're restricted to heroes like a Nubarak, Muradin, different warriors that are...
though. They do. They really love Muradin. Those are the 2 big heroes that stood out to me when I was looking over their drafts for the qualifier. It was Uther, Muradin. They'll even go for Tyrael as well. Again, they love that aggressive play.
Oh, and Zebo is another one they played a lot too as well in the regional playoffs. Zebo, just by himself, that spider build can do very, very well at taking down melees, forcing them to either engage or disengage. That's the decision they have to make whenever they're being hit by spiders. And so putting that pressure on them can be very strong. And then the follow-up into a Nubarak here.
All right, so Kubi, at this point, you talked about Muradin being very powerful. Yep. Muradin and Nubarak have been paired together quite frequently by a lot of teams in every region. Do you like that as their final pickup here, or do you think it's a variable? They're just saving that last spot.
There is still the possibility of that Tyrael as well if they want to go for that. So you're right, but everything is setting up for this dive style. Nubarak using that burrow charge to go in. Both Tyrael with the Judgment and the Dwarf Toss from Muradin could round this composition out very well.
Web Blast could be a big deal here as well, or Cocoon, sorry, that was recently changed in a patch note, so watch out for that, and especially, wow, with Cloud9 picking Kerrigan into that composition, looking like they want to go for the full-on aggressive play here, and a Rhaegar follow-up will be the support for this team. Interesting picks overall, but a very strong composition, and I'm looking at Tyrande for this entire composition and how well she has played here.
Everything about Cloud9's composition just screams aggression, rotations, in your face. You're never going to have a moment to breathe in the laning phase. One step out of line, they're going to find you with the Howling Blast and the combo with Kerrigan, but Thrall actually being played here by Immunity as well. A second showing of the day.
What is going on in this tournament? Thrall being picked up. We never see Thrall, and this is the second time now, like you were mentioning, and we saw some very actually convincing play out of that. Didn't end up taking the game, but still, I think they made a great case for it, Murlocs did.
Yeah, very interesting. Thrall so good at being an anti-diver. If Kerrigan diving in, the Tyrande Hunter Mark coming in, if that's missed at any opportunity, a Sundering falls up and splits up that entire team, allowing for Immunity to pounce on whoever they would like. I love Thrall here. Thrall's a great pick, and I think he's been underrated for the last couple of weeks, and I'm glad that he's actually being brought up in these teams.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, the Wind Fury build can just dish out so much damage. Sometimes we do see teams spec a little bit more into Chain Lightning if they feel they need the sustain, the safe poke with that. But once you pick the Wind Fury build, if you can get those combos off, man, the damage does hurt.
Very, very true there from Jake. So I'm ready for the match. I don't know about you guys. Of course, you will be casting it, but I'll come back later and definitely help out with the analysis afterwards.
Sounds good, man. Well, we're setting up here for game number 1 on Tomb of the Spider Queen between Cloud9 and Immunity. Let's hop into it.
That's one of the big matches. Cloud9 looking to be the favorite. Immunity trying to challenge us. Let's get some noise in here.
All right, guys. Well, on the blue side of the battleground, that is Team Immunity with Nio playing as Thrall. It's going to be a Nygon on Uther. Robodoba playing a new Barak. Sashin going to be on Jaina, and rounding up the team is Shy on Nazebo.
And on the red side of the battleground for Cloud9, one of the big favorites to move on. Dunk Train is going to be on Rhaegar. King Caffeine on the Leoric. Fan will be playing Arthas. K1 Pro on Tyrande. And iDream, the flex player, playing Kerrigan.
These matches all mean so much here in the group stage. It's your only chance to qualify for the World Championships at BlizzCon this year, so the tension has never been higher for these teams. Immunity has traveled across this ocean to get here to America, competing from multiple countries. There's Singapore, Southeast Asia, Korea, and of course Australia. So really so much potential with that team.
Yeah, they really just want to represent, show their region is one to be contended with, and they have a big task in front of them, that in the form of Cloud9, and already a stun. Jaina is going to get locked down and taken out.
You see the Hunter's Mark go down there. So much damage was received in that instance, and immediately Cloud9, only 30 seconds into this game, gets the first takedown, and they're continuing to rotate around. When they rotate, not only are they applying the pressure to their opponents, but they're picking up these gems and denying gems from their opponents.
Yeah, always make sure to have control of that objective. Those 2 turning points is going to be a big deal. And aggressive play in the early game, always going to be a factor there.
All right, well, right now they're just continuing to keep their presence in the middle of the battleground. If anyone steps out, they'll rotate accordingly to try to apply that pressure. Looking at the talents, pretty standard pickup so far. We're seeing the Kerrigans really specking to Ravage more and more in these recent combos just to have additional diving capability.
Yeah, we saw some of that out of even the Korean Kerrigan play. They go for that siphoning impact at level 1 and the clean kill level 4. Provides so much more mobility. You can use it just, Kerrigan honestly just jump out of anywhere, and you have to be on your toes constantly.
All right, well, Shy will spot Dunk Train, just kind of exchange blows at this point. And they're continuing to try to get those turned in. 6 gems have been turned into this point by Immunity, but Shy is getting a crack. The zombie wall does get the takedown, not working out for himself there.
Yeah, almost blocked himself in. Not that he really had a lot of chance to escape. And again, Cloud9 with that just about half-level lead right now, showing they have that strong early, getting a great reaction from Robodoba to use that burrow charge to get out of the combo.
One of the safer heroes when it comes to the Warriors, having that burrow charge to get out of situations when Kerrigan does jump on you. So it's a nice trait to have with a new Barak, but the rest of his allies aren't so lucky in a lot of these situations.
So the big thing to highlight about this matchup between the 2 teams, Cloud9 and Immunity, they really have that early game on lockdown. They always draft for it, and they make sure that they come out of the gates blazing. They have that strong presence. Shy with a great dodge on that combo. Does get rooted over the wall. But really, when it comes down to it, Cloud9 knows if they can have that convincing early game, they're not scared of the late game because they know that's not always what Immunity is playing for. That's not their strength.
Yeah, I like this style here. They're approaching this draft impeccably thus far. But Envenom was picked up here by Kerrigan. That's going to change things quite a bit. A lot more burst in the game. Like you mentioned, Lunar Flare does connect the 100 by goes up, but Robodoba barely gets that with the burrow charge.
Good about disengage. This good stun from Uther really did a lot to disrupt the rest of the team. If they had been able to follow up with all of those abilities, that would have been a takedown for sure.
All right, a lot of coins going in. 28 for Cloud9 have been turned, and you need 50 for that first summon on the Web Weavers.
We do see that Immunity has quite a few stocked up. Not quite enough to turn in, but they're getting a bit close. Again, it has to do with that control. If they're not even able to get to that point because they're scared of Cloud9's rotations, it makes it so difficult to get any kind of structural damage done to propel yourself to victory.
Okay, Dream is being very aggressive, just looking for anyone that steps out of line. He does have that full combo. There's always an ally nearby. Whether it's Dunk Train for the heals or Fan there with the Howling Blast to get the additional lockdown, there's a consistent threat on the table.
continuing to hold that forward position. You can see Immunity is backed up to their gates. They're taking the giant camp on their side of the map right now, but you cannot leave any of these heroes out, and that is going to be Nazebo falling once more.
He thinks he's safe standing near his wall, but there is no safety when Cloud9 is here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Only 7 more gems are needed, and iDream has the ticket. This will be the first summon of the Web Weavers, and Cloud9's about to get very aggressive.
Take note of the positioning of the 2 heroes in the bottom lane, or 3, excuse me, Van, Dunktrain, and K1 Pro. They know that as soon as the Web Weavers are summoned, the mercenary camps disappear unless you're capturing some. So this is going to be an added amount of stress in the bottom lane for Immunity.
And they're going to have a small advantage here. Level 7 has been reached. They have the talent tier advantage for a very tiny window. Utilizing the Web Weavers and those talents, they can put the aggression on. Robodoba needs to back that up. Jaina does go down in the bottom.
So far, 4 takedowns to nothing. And again, Immunity's strength is this early game. I think Cloud9 is really just coming out of the gate and just saying, we're going to completely shut down your one strength as a team. Another stun, does have that burrow charge, will be able to escape.
Just barely getting out of there, dodging the Howling Blast, but the Giants and Web Weavers are really shredding through these walls. The combo from Kerrigan, just barely, not enough. The Death Coil does get the kill.
Can't leave, he already used his ability to get out. Stuck around a little bit too long, and that is a lot of gems dropped for Immunity.
And now this bottom 4 is taking critical damage. It will go down here. All during this time, though, there's a battle continuing across this map. Middle Web Weaver, very low. Dunktrain has been trying to escort it. Will end up falling, but the damage out of ammunition here on the towers. Half health for that one tower. Top lane. Also, the wall is completely down.
Just being able to take out the towers and that single fort does so much experience-wise for Cloud9. They almost have a 2-level lead at this point.
And the big deal about that is the fact that they nearly have their heroic abilities. They try to use the Lunar Flare to take out that tower. When you destroy towers, any structures like that, it grants your team experience. That experience is critical for getting yourself an advantage. Timing attacks can happen if you have your heroic abilities, or even just level 7 talent. So right now, Cloud9's looking for that window. They're looking to keep the pressure on and keep Immunity back hiding in their base.
They're going to have a huge timing window, a full 2-level lead for Cloud9 going into this. They're picking up the heroics.
We have going for the boss?
Yeah, why not? That's a huge amount of time before Immunity's going to even be able to contest this. And if Kerrigan has eyes on this, K1 Pro is going to be able to throw down those Sentinels to keep an eye on this. They smell something is fishy here.
Yes, but this is so hard to take without your heroics with Ancestral, Army of the Dead, Starfall, Maelstrom, and then Entomb. If you try to dive in there, the Entomb's just going to put you in such a bad position, and Cloud9 realizes this. They pick up the first boss very early in this game.
Massive advantage going to Cloud9 at this point. They can back up, take their mercenary camps, continue to turn in the gems that they do have already. We have 34 gems up Thrall, but they just don't have the position to get in there to turn in.
All right, Zombie Wall trying to peel iDream, but is not successful, but it does lock Dunktrain back. So iDream has to be careful when he dives forward here. He gets the combo on an Iron, he pops the Maelstrom, diving forward into this battle, and the flank from Fan, popping Army of the Dead, a beautiful Starfall, locking the path out, and the Ancestral Heal keeps Gamer Pro alive. The Sentinel does connect, and Uther falls as well. Howling Blast will be dodged by Shy, but they are pushing on forward. This back wall in the bottom lane will go down.
Careful take. iDream does not have to be careful with this huge lead. He knows he's got the backup from his team. They're even taking out a new Barak over the wall. The boss was pushing in the top lane. Jaina was preoccupied trying to clean that up. This looks amazing for Cloud9.
Towers are falling. These give additional experience because they're further back here on the battleground, and Cloud9 is sitting up 8-0 in terms of takedowns. They realize their position is a little bit risky now. Low on mana, they're just going to retreat back, get more gems, turn them in, and once they have those mercenaries and Web Weavers, they can push out once more.
Immunity just has to play safe. Another half level, and that's when they gain the tools, the heroic talents to contest Cloud9. But even just them trying to play safe, or what they think is safe, iDream just jumps over the wall, pulls people through gates. They have to be so scared at this point.
It's rough, and Web Weavers here once again. I believe there's only been about 12 gems turned in by Immunity in this entire game. They do have quite a few there on their heroes, but we can see they're really starting to march forward. Web Weavers summoning, making their way to the middle of the battleground, and Cloud9 will get in position to push with them.
That's right, it's all about trying to get the most out of this objective. Just 8 minutes into this game, and they're already threatening to take down all of the front structures. The bottom lane going completely uncontested. But they do have the heroics now. That means Sundering. We do have the Divine Shield. The Gargantuan's picked up Ring of Frost and the Locust Swarm.
I'm loving the resurgence of Ring of Frost here, but we do see that Divine Shield was used. Ring of Frost connects there, but the Ancestral is enough to stay alive. Dream is falling incredibly low. Does go down. That's the first hero down in this battle. Starfall buying time, slowing the entire team of Immunity, and they can rotate and reposture. And that's when the Lunar Flare goes off. The Howling Blast combo, and that's a dead
Caffeine is able to survive this, and now that means Dio's going to get taken out. That means another 2 heroes only trading off the 1, and they're still going. They want more blood.
Fan is in there, the stun, but the Lunar Flare does end up connecting on a Nigon, and he falls in battle here. The Howling Blast not enough to get the takedown on Shy, but Cloud9 walks out victorious, only losing one hero to the 3 of Immunity.
The fact that they were able to take this fight all while the objective was pushing the other lanes, they're clearly going to be able to take out those walls in a 3-level lead for the time being.
The bottom lane, the top lane, all being pushed out. The top wave river about to collapse here, but the damage has been done. Look at that keep being sieged up before the 10-minute marker.
Fair amount of gems available for Cloud9, not nearly enough to turn in. Every single time you turn in, make use of the objective, it's more gems. They need 60 at this point to be able to do that.
I'm super impressed with Cloud9's play. I mean, they just went for the hyper-aggressive style here versus Immunity. They researched their opponent. They know what they have to do to combat them in the early game. Deny them that early level lead.
Yeah, you heard Duck Train talking before in the interview video. He said, we know that we have a lot of pressure. We have everything to lose with this, but they have done nothing but take the wind out of Immunity's sails.
And they're starting to push out with these bruisers. They're collecting as many gems as they can. 17 on King Caffeine right now, and they're going to turn in as much as they possibly can. But each time you summon the web rivers, the cost goes up. The price increases, so they have to continue collecting very adamantly.
They know they continue to put the pressure on. We do have both mercenary camps pushing down on Immunity's side of the battleground. You can see, look at this, they backed up completely. So we're not messing with that at all. We know you have shown us what we can do. And we even have the increased range on the Ravage, the Eviscerate at level 13 for Kerrigan. That's just added more range where you have to back up completely.
I love the pickups here by both teams, but you got to talk about the Talontier advantage. I mean, this makes it very difficult for Immunity to engage until they have level 13, but Cloud9 consistently sitting on a 2-level advantage makes it... The windows are so infrequent for Immunity until they can take a big team fight.
But they have shown they have the capability to do that. The last time they were able to line up the Sundering with a... Okay, looks like we have a little bit of a pause. Nope, getting back into it. Anyway, so the Sundering plus the Ring of Frost, following that up with the consistent damage of the Gargantuan, they show they do have the potential, but you're right. It's so important to be on the same talent tier when you try to take these contention points.
Okay, well, the Mercenary Camps continue to be picked up here. And all of them have been grabbed at this point in the game. And Immunity just playing safe. They're staying together. They're not separating. They know if they get picked off, it could be lights out. Cloud9 could try to turn in another summon of the web. They could push in, try to take out a keep. They're already exposed from that last phase that went through.
Dude, you just hold this map control, really just strangling Immunity, not allowing them to have any opportunities to move forward. But level 13 right around the corner. This is probably where we're going to look. There's that half-level window where they have to make something happen. If things go status quo, Cloud9 will easily be able to take this.
But with the summon on the web weavers for the 3rd time in a row on Cloud9 side, this is going to be very difficult to defend. 16 will be reached rather quickly as the towers do collapse, and Cloud9 is going to get in the face of Immunity before we know it.
Pushing down the bottom lane, we see that Mercenary Camp needs to be responded to from Nazebo, and they're already positioning themselves.
Now, Immunity has the right idea here. They're playing defensively. They're staying in their base. If Cloud9 oversteps their bounds, they can get blown up. But with a play like this, it could be difficult. A lot of damage going off, but Thrall standing strong. Entomb was used. 2 heroics down on the side of Cloud9 with all 5 still standing. So Immunity regained their composure. Yes, a beautiful ice block by Shy. They can try to turn this around right here, right now.
Keep an eye on the positioning of the Ring of Frost. It's going to be a big deal. There's a lot of damage output, and that is a new Brack diving in the ring. It's going to be able to hit a few heroes, but Nayo ends up on. That's a 3 for nothing so far for Cloud9.
Oh man, they just turn it around and they're going for Sashid. The bottom keep has fallen and the damage output is just far too much from Cloud9 with these webbers. They're pushing it and they have a 4-level lead.
Thought about taking the keep for a second, said wait a minute, this is a massive advantage. We're going to start wailing away at this core, and I'm not sure if Immunity has the tools, the resources to defend this.
Just like that, Cloud9 takes it. Ice block used from Jaina, but it's all for nothing. She'll live on, but this core will not. Game number 1 goes to Cloud9 in decisive fashion. GG!
15 takedowns to 1. If you wanted to see a convincing